Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Jackavice and welcome to a brand new series on Total War Warhammer 2. We're going to be playing as Ikit Claw from Clan Skyer. These are the faction effects and the lord effects down here. Starting units, these guys. And we're going to be on campaign hard and battle hard for difficulties. And then these are the race attributes in case anyone wanted to know. For the first episode, 2 episodes, maybe 3, so I don't know, some amount until I feel like it's been a good amount of time. I'm going to kind of go over what's going on, just how things work mechanic-wise, so that anyone that doesn't know how this game works, or has never seen it, never played it or anything, could kind of pick it up and follow along. The base mechanics aren't super complicated. Any complicated parts come with strategy later on. And yeah, we're about to have a cinematic, so I will see you after that.
Supreme Warlock Master, your knowledge of science and sorcery is unsurpassed. This is your chance to experiment and make the world your playground of diabolical weaponry. Perhaps the Astalians could be your first test subjects. They may well be harboring a wealth of warpstone, and will surely offer little resistance to a carefully aimed doom rocket. To the north, the Bretonnian dukedoms fight for honor and chivalry. Yet they have a soft underbelly, which could easily be exploited by Skyer's under-empire. Many greenskins dwell in the mountains north of Tilea. They do not know it yet, but both they and the Tileans could prove useful fodder in furthering your research. Your workshop awaits you, my lord. Let the power of Warpstone be felt by all through the explosive experiments of Ikit Claw.
Alright, here's a little how to play. Feel free to pause this if you want to read through it. I already know what it all says and how all this works, so I don't need to. Go out, clear out that, and our first chapter objective. So, to win, we're going to be probably doing the short campaign, unless if things go really well and we decide to continue on for a long campaign. Probably not, but this is what we need to do. It's pretty simple. If you don't understand, you will within a little while. You'll probably figure out what it means. It's pretty simple. We got our main army here with our hero. Let's just embed that hero in right away. We are losing public order here, which is how happy people are. If it hits negative 100, then you get a rebellion, which not super hard to deal with. I am going to spend the first... No, I'm not. I'm actually going to attack straight away. I'll do that in a second, though. First things first. You have growth, and every time it hits the number that it's out of, that's how much I'm getting a turn. It's going to be 25 turns until I get another one. You get a population surplus, which is the same for the entire province. And you use those, as well as gold, to upgrade your cities. So I started enough to upgrade that to level 2. And then we are also going to get this one, because it gives us more tech that we can research. We can't research anything because it's all locked right now as Skaven, as well as growth, gold income, and cultural replenishment, and Skaven corruption. So Skaven corruption, different from all the other types of corruption. Skaven, you don't necessarily want a high amount, because it hurts our public order if we have it. We prefer not having corruption for public order-wise, but you get menace below abilities, which basically means you can summon rats in battles, as long as you're fighting in areas with good Skaven corruption. So you kind of want it on the edges where you're going to be fighting, but then on the center of your empire, you want low Skaven corruption. It's basically just rubbish and trash that the Skaven have left behind. So we are at war with these guys, so let's go do a nice little battle. This is going to be a super easy battle. So this is the auto-resolve bar. It basically, if you auto-resolve it, you have 50% chance of winning, and the closer it is to the middle, the less likely you are going to win. Especially on harder difficulties, you're not going to really win a 50-50. Even if you do, you're going to lose a lot of casualties. It also gives you kind of a rough idea of how well you're going to do in the battle. And when I say rough idea, I mean really rough idea. It depends on what faction you're playing and what troops they have, because some troops are given extra points and some are given negative points, it seems, for the auto resolve bar than they actually should. So like artillery give extra points because artillery are really good. But when you're fighting against the AI, if you know what you're doing and you have the right units to counter the artillery, you can kill the artillery before they have a chance to do anything, and then it's super easy. You see, like, it went from 50-50, it's now massively in my favor. And it's going to be even worse than that for the enemy because I know what I'm doing. Let's get some clan rats, our lord and our hero. These guys are one of my favorite Skaven units. The Clan Skyer, I think exclusively. Clan Skyer gets a bunch of cool stuff. They little sniper dudes, and then we have... See, I'm going to clump these guys up into a little bit bigger balls. There we go. And then we have rattling guns, which, yeah, that's what they sound like. They're Gatling guns fired by rats. Then we have the little doom flayers. Little rats on spiky wheels of magical energy of the Skaven-y kind. Alright, I want to open up on this unit because that's what their leader is, because it's just a garrison, they don't get an actual leader, which is terrible for them, great for me, because if the leader dies or like runs off the board, they take a huge morale hit and they're just all going to, like, all the other units are just going to rout and run off the board. The morale is at grey bar, health is the green bar. Colors. Seriously? I'm messing up colors. And then if there's units with an orange bar, that's their ammo. So like these guys and these guys have ammo. So they are the ones that actually have that. Let's move our guys forward. And we have some lovely spells we can start casting onto these enemies. From both our Lord and the Warlock Engineer. The Warlock Engineer is going to be our main spellcaster. Because Ikit Claw can have the exact same spells. So normally you don't really want to put him in this army. I like to. I don't want Ikit Claw spending his valuable level up points on spells. I would much rather him be making our army better. Might not be the best thing to do, but it's what I'm going to do, because that's what I like doing. I don't like lords having all of the spells, so I prefer non-spell casting lords with a spellcaster. Get the magic in. I also have this. This is a... one second. Do that. A one-time use. I have to build more of them in the workshop if I want more. It will happen. I am not going to use it yet because I don't have really a way to replace it, nor do I need it. It's a massive nuke that just obliterates armies. So really nice, really powerful. Not for right now. Like, at all. Okay, let's get some spell casting on. I don't really care about these units. They're just Skaven slaves. They are pretty much useless units. They're just cannon fodder basically, and yeah, they have like no health, they do so little damage, they break a lot, but they do their job. They do their job, as you can see, because that was just a massive victory for us. With no issues whatsoever. Lovely kills on these two, and then some kills on my spellcasters. Yeah, see, they got some, but nowhere close to the amount his spearmen got for fighting these. I mean, I did deploy 86 more units than him, but I guess a lot of that was because I actually had more actual units too. Well, not by a huge amount. No, not really actually, because these are one, and then these guys are small amounts. Like that's just two guys. So yeah, not so bad. Battle went really well. We're going to have some pretty good battles to begin with, and then things are going to probably drop off near the middle, because the enemy are going to get tougher as we get tougher, and they're probably going to out-tough us faster, because we're on hard difficulty. But we'll pull through. The Skaven are wily ones. We shall beat them. It shall be a little challenging, but we shall win. And then we'll start winning faster and faster. So I can expand my Undercity, which is a Skaven-y thing. You'll see some of that later. Not a good place here. Raise it, it becomes no one, and someone can settle it. I don't really want to, because I want it. I can sack it, you get a bunch of money and replenishment, but they keep it. Then you normally have an option to occupy, and then a different one that's loot and occupy. Skaven can only loot and occupy. Get a massive penalty for looting and occupying our public order, but you get some gold and get casualty replenishment. It's pretty good. That's what I'm going to do. I also had the option to select the level I wanted for it, which is a Skaven thing. you spend a bunch of food, and that lets you start the city at a higher level. Now that's really bad at this point because I have so little food, it would drop me into a shortage. As long as I have normal food levels or more, I get buffs. If it drops down, I get penalties. So you don't want it dropping down.
Science, sorcery, death.
There's different ways of getting food, from like fighting battles, raiding, taking cities, stuff like that. As well as buildings will do it. Just did some quick upgradings there. Here's the commandments. So if you have the entire province, so there's the cities, the regions, which are each city, and then the entire province, which is made up of multiple cities. In this case, it's just one. If you get the entire province, you get a province buff. I'm going to choose this one, get some extra growth. And then this one of Astalia has 3 cities. So once I have all 3 of these cities, I'll be able to get that commandment. And yeah, that's the end of our go for the moment. There's not a huge amount for us to do. We're not really going to be at peace with anyone. No allies, really. Unless we meet some Skaven. If I send like a hero down, I meet with them. There's not really many, and they're really far spread out, so it'll be a lot of long treks, and most of them die. Clan Moors will probably do pretty well, but they're inland a lot, so I'm not going to be able to like trade with them for a really long time, if ever, honestly. So I need to recruit some units, so I'm going to head right back up to Skavenblight, pop on into the city, and start recruiting. So I want some clan rats with shields, and then clan spear rats with shields. And then, I'm going to be here for a little while, let's use the global recruitment, which doubles the cost and well, not actually quite double the cost. More cost, same upkeep, and then normally about twice as long to recruit. Get my first research thing underway now that our building has been completed. Let's also check out the workshop. So here I can spend food and warp fuel to upgrade my units, the Doomflayers, Doom Wheels, each of the weapon teams, and build more Doom Rockets as well as upgrade them. First thing I want to do is I want to upgrade the Tazales because they are like my favorite unit in the game. And then also want to get this one for the Doom Rocket. So anytime I build a Doom Rocket, which is 4 warp fuel, which is pretty expensive, and I have a 25% chance of getting a second one, which you just want that before you get your first Doom Rocket, because that means every 4 you get 5, which is just amazing, because they are so expensive, but so useful. Warp fuel you can get at the end of battles. If you win battles, winning sieges there's a chance, as well as using Warlock Engineers against cities as their hero powers. You can get it. I am obviously not doing that because I want this one. As soon as I get another one though, he's going to be just sitting outside his cities doing his powers to try to get as much warp fuel as we possibly can. Recruit some more units. Let's get another unit of Clan Massive Shields. And at the end of this turn we're going to leave because we're going to be pretty much full at that point. And yeah, is there anything else for us to do? No, there's not. So to begin with, yeah, we're just going to be kind of rocking through turns. We're already going through to our 3rd turn. As time goes on, that's not going to be the case. And the in-between turn timer, like right now, that's going to go faster because it cycles through every single faction there is in the game. Which on Mortal Empires, which is this nice, lovely, giant map of both Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2 put together, it takes a little while. It's better than it used to be because of an update, but it still definitely takes its time.
Where are my schematics?
But it's not so bad because as time goes on, it goes faster because there are less factions. They've been wiped out. So let's get that upgraded. We also want to build this so we can start getting some of our weapon teams built up in the future, as well as let's get this one. It increases our public order and gives us another research thing because we are kind of struggling on public order right now. We have 8 turns until rebellion. Now I could go to this, which will be +2 public order, which would be nice. It'll slow it down, but I want to get that growth in there right now because in 6 turns I'll get a second growth, which means I can upgrade, which is really what I'm trying to do right now. And this is going to be rebel in 13 turns anyway, so I'm going to have to come back here and pretty soon to deal with some rebellions. Hopefully, big hope here, Talea does not decide to just come right after us, because that would suck. Chances are they won't. They could, because they don't like us. and we're fighting someone they do like. Well, somewhat like. And they have an army there, but this land takes a really long time to move armies through. There's loads of rivers. It's really bad terrain for people. So we'll have a couple turns to be able to get back to our city before that happens. Now this place has actually been taken. Well, not taken, it's been destroyed. If you're paying good, nice, close attention to begin with, you would have seen there's 2 armies up here within turn 1. Turn 2, I'm pretty sure they were gone. Wow, we're already on turn 5. Wow, we were actually ahead of where I thought we were. Those were Beastmen armies. The Beastmen are kind of our friends. They're not really friends. They are chaos beast creatures like centaurs and stuff like that. But what they are enemies of humans. So they just burning down cities. They're not our friends, but they will probably leave us alone as long as we leave them alone. They went over here and burnt down this city for us. So we could go take it. And while I want to, I really do, the issue with taking ruins is it costs a bunch of money and it also halves your army. Which would be quite painful. Because I would not be able to fight over here. I have 8 turns. Okay, that's fine. Oh, because I got that built. Nice! I also have one of these I can do. A right. If you complete a right, this one, like, say, lasts for 5 turns, but then has 15 turn cooldown. Then you have the cost, and then the effects, and then down here is how you unlock them. What does this one do? 3 food generated a turn. That's pretty nice. Growth, public order, and recruitment cost. Ooh, that's actually quite nice. Do I have anything to be spending gold on right now? Not for a little while, so let's actually do that right. Boom. So now we're going to start making food because of that, as well as our public order is not going to be taking as much of a hit. It's still going to be going down by 5, but that's going to give us some more turns.
Where are my schematics?
So he has this army here, and the garrison of 8, and this army outside. I can't attack this army outside because it's Skaven. All of our offense attacks, most of the time, count as ambushes, which means they don't get to reinforce their armies. So I could go snipe this army, but that would put me a little bit close. So let's chill out here for a little bit. There's that Beastman army. What's his movement range? Can I see? No. So let's go a little bit farther out. How far can I go and still raid? As long as I have 50% movement left, I can still raid. So we can go to here. And that's a camp. This is raid. Okay, same movement. So I get 3 food a turn, which is nice, and a little bit of gold. And he's probably going to come attack me, which is exactly what I want to happen. I want to try to bait his army out to fight us. Because ideally he moves to fight us. I retreat, he can't follow, but he can't get back. On his next turn, I can jump. See? He did it. Really bad fight for me. I run away, he can't follow, but he couldn't get his main army back to the safety of his home. But what is going to happen is I'm in range of his army. So I'm now going to press the assault. I'm going to spend a little bit of food to get menace belows. Let's just do 2 because that drops me down to the minimum. It's an ambush, and ambushes always go really badly for the AI. No matter what difficulty they're on, they always seem to screw up defending an ambush. Not always. I mean, if you like massively outnumbered, it sucks. But ambushes are really good to beat armies that are tougher than yours, and this one is definitely tougher than mine. Because these guys are pretty decent units. He has some crossbow, and then these cavalry. My guys, pretty sucky units. They're all really early game units. These guys will be decent for a little while. The clan rats have shields. The slaves and the basic clan rats, yeah, they're gonna suck. So big advantage of an ambush that you get is you can deploy anywhere you want, for the most part. Not in this red area, and then not in this little gap between the areas, but anywhere in the yellow, which means I can deploy on both sides of him. He starts in this column, he can't change that, and I can just place my army right up next to him, and he has nothing he can do about that. So I'm actually going to deploy on both sides of him to get a little bit of a smushy advantage. Have my pikes near his cavalry, and then so ambushes, they always the ambushed army always goes in the exact same order. I'm gambling to get a little bit of magic back, like some extra. Don't know if that helped. I think the recharge rate went up. I wasn't paying it super much attention to that. But the actual amount stayed the same. But that's fine. Didn't go down. It can go down. But so ambushes, they always start in the same order. Leader at the front, followed by heroes, followed by melee infantry, followed by the ranged infantry, followed by cavalry, and then artillery. I don't know why you have artillery in the rear. That sounds like the worst possible idea. Like, I don't think any general would ever actually do that. But it's what they do for some reason, so I'm not going to complain. Works well for me. So now that I have him nicely surrounded, I'm going to start the battle. I'm going to slow it down for a second so I have time to issue my units to get in there and start attacking. Get the spears onto them, get the rattling guns shooting at you, and then I'm going to send these pretty much useless slaves to kind of cause a little bit of pincing. Now I want you shooting at his lord, and then I want you over there, which I put you in a terrible spot for that, I know. And let's get you over towards the lord and get our guys start casting up some magic once these guys clump up, which they definitely will. Alright, so now that the archers and everything's just running away completely. Ooh, wow, you are like gunning for my lord. Okay, that's interesting. I was not expecting that much of an assault from you. With the brass orb. Ooh, hello. Not for my lord, his lord is gunning for my guys. But my lord is here. My lord's ranged, but he's also pretty good in melee. So I probably will send him into melee. Deal with the enemy in a second. You want to try to get your units, especially as Skaven, because we have pretty sucky units compared to everyone else, at least to begin with. We can get better units eventually, but a nice surrounding attack. Which is where our little menace blows come in so handy. The ability to just like go, oh, I want to drop this unit of clan rats right behind the enemy is so nice. Now, a little thing is Skaven, which is going to scare players that have never played Skaven but have played Total War games, is your units break all the time. And it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing if you know how to deal with it. Skaven have a super low leadership. So they are constantly, and I mean constantly, running away. But the thing is, they rally really fast as well. So while my lord will, my army, I mean not my lord's fine. The lords and heroes, they do a fine job. But all my actual infantry and stuff, especially the ones that are going to be in melee combat, they're going to break. But they rally, so they'll come back. It's not doing as much of good as it normally does in an ambush because I'm already pincering him and we're already like right on top of each other. But when there's like an actual line, which is normally what happens, there's a front line. Every time your units break, that's an opportunity for you to wrap them around the enemy and get a flank onto them. So as long as you are constantly redeploying your units onto flanks, you can do some great work with your units breaking. So now I've just managed to kill his lord, which means his entire army is just going to completely crumble, as you can see. There we go. That's a lovely victory for us. Took a bunch of casualties, but it's not so bad. He took a lot more. Now I will have to attack this army a second time, just due to so many of them getting away and the type of battle it was. Certain types of battle, you completely wipe the enemy. This is not one of them, so anyone that manages to get off, I will have to fight again. So what I'm doing now is just kind of letting this run out for a little bit longer. In fact, I'll put it onto full speed, just to try to get a little bit more kills, so there's a little bit less for me to have to fight the next time around. Because ideally, I want to be able to just auto-resolve this next battle, which I will probably be able to do, but I mean, I will be able to do it, I will do it. But the less enemies they have, that means the less units of mine will die. So chasing them down can be useful if you have the patience to do it. Most of the time you don't really want to bother, but so many of these units are so badly injured that I kind of just want to mop up a couple units. There we go. That's close enough. So most of these units will be just flat out dead. See, dead, 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 dead. Probably dead. They have a little bit left. These are like the guys that like 9 guys left. Quite often, if it's that low, it just counts the unit as dead, if it's been a complete loss like this was. And his lord was dead, which is lovely, because he won't have a lord for the next battle. Because, well, no, he might actually. The AI sometimes cheat that. Players can't get it if it's until their next turn. AI sometimes manage to do it, which is really annoying. Because that means they have a fresh lord, full health. He's going to keep his units in check for a long time until you manage to grind them down. So if you're going to lose a battle, but you're really trying to weaken the enemy, don't kill the enemy lord. Drop him as low as you can without killing him, because if he dies, you're just going to have to fight a brand new full health lord the second time around. But if he's really low, you fight a really weak lord, you can clean it up nice and easy. So yeah, I outnumbered him and everything. Yeah, look at all those. So few of his army actually survive. So I have the options here to get some gold but lose casualty replenishment, get some food and bonus leadership, or get a little bit of my units back by eating the captives. Which is not a huge amount, but I'm going to do that one to try to survive the auto-resolve as much as possible, because I don't want to lose like some of these clan rats that are quite a bit weaker. So I've got a follower, which gets me some bonuses, as well as a item, I believe is what the other thing I got. No, I got 2 followers. So I get 2 little bonuses from that. So, you have a bunch of different trees for the level up. I realized I didn't actually show any of this off. You have the blue tree, which is campaign buff. You have the red tree, which is buffing your units in your army. This is for lords only. And then you have all the yellow stuff, which different ones will have different types of things, which is buffing the actual lord himself. I'm going to go down the red tree with this army. The nicest thing in the blue tree is this, the lightning strike. It stops any reinforcements from joining the battle, which means you can send an army that's one really tough army against like 3 enemy armies, where you would lose, lightning strike it, pick off one of them at a time. Now as Skaven, you get the ability to pretty much always ambush, so you basically have a free lightning strike from the beginning of the game, which is awesome. For the Warlock Engineer, you have, for any heroes, you have their actual stuff, which normally is like how they buff something, and then what their damage method is. For him, it's magic, and then buffing, artillery for the most part, and then some archers and any type of things with ammo, so like the weapon teams. So I love Warlock Engineers for my armies because of that. Then down here is how they do stuff. So the first one is always how they buff an army if they embed it in, and then the rest of them are buffing up their abilities that they can do to cities, armies, heroes, different stuff like that. And then the passive one, for if they just passively in your land. So now that I've leveled up, let's press him down. Another ambush, massively in my favor, so a lovely auto-resolve, lost almost nothing, 21 rats died, that's not even a unit. And then I can eat them again to get a little bit more health back. And that was how you bait out an enemy. Now these are all based on the type of unit. So, Pack Leader, that will buff me now. That will buff my clan rats. This one though is going to buff my storm vermin, which will be my front line near the end of the game. So this is really what I want, not this. But since this one doesn't help me now, this one won't help me then, I'm going to grab the ones like this, which buff my weapon teams, which will help me both now and then, because I'm always going to have weapon teams. So I'm going to go down Blastmaster, which goes for my weapon teams, and then Engineer Skill, which goes down for like my Doom Wheels, as well as my artillery whenever I get them. Because both of these are my favorite things to buff. I love ranged units, especially the Skaven ones. And then later we'll grab this, because that will make my front line super tough. So I'm also now going to go, let's get this, so I can 5% extra movement speed for my main army, which is not a huge amount, but it adds up, especially when you're moving so often. Let's get this, because it's going to add us 1 food per turn, and we need as much food as we possibly can get. Alright, and that brings us to the end of this turn, which puts us in a great spot against our fight with Astalia. Hopefully the beastmen don't just burn it to the ground. Luckily they didn't. I was slightly worried that they would just jump on it, burn it to the ground. I wanted to take it, because me taking it means I don't have to colonize it, which is a great thing for me. So let's besiege this city. Now it is massively in the enemy's favor. One, because they have walls, I don't have any siege equipment. The only thing that can get me through the walls right now is these Doomflayers, because they can break down the walls. Actually, they might be able to. Technically I can climb the walls, but you need something that can destroy a gate to be able to actually attack, which is kind of weird, because like I wouldn't use this guy to destroy the gate. I would just leave him alone and send up the rats if I wanted to attack right now, up the walls on ladders. So I don't see why you have to build siege equipment, but you do. So I'm actually going to do it the other way around, so I get that done first. That'll be done in the first turn, then 3 turns is based on how much labor, and then how much this is labor cost, which is based on how big your army is, and stuff like that. Now this is terribly in my favor, but Skaven, we're underestimated, especially when it comes to the fact that we have a nuke. So I'm going to continue the siege, wait for those things to be built up, and in a couple turns we'll be able to take that out. It's going to be pretty fine. He was trying to recruit, he can't recruit now, because I'm besieging him, so he can't recruit, he can't build anything new, he's completely locked in. This is Sony City. I could just wait for the 8 turns until he runs out of supplies and his army starts taking massive hits because they have no food left. But I'm not going to do that, because that's going to take a while. So I'm just going to wait the 2 turns, and then we can go and stomp on in. But that will have to be the next time, because we are out of time. If you have enjoyed this, like and comment down below. If you're new to the channel and would like to see more, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, stay icy. Bye!